about the Ollie portrait, I sat down. I like to do a little artist statement. They didn't want it, but it didn't really matter. So
that's okay. Artist statements, I guess, part of the business. Isn't it?
Well, I think so. I think, well, it's good to keep track of your thoughts when you're so engaged in a project, and I find it really helpful for my own keeping on track.
So you actually write it down?
I actually write it down. I sit down on my computer. Through my whole process, I just, why I suddenly put an element in, because painting, especially something like a portrait, is a very big combination of spontaneous acts and studied, careful method.
You take photographs as well?
I do. I take a lot of photographs. I like to take photographs, and also I just talk and take the pictures, and that way I get everybody involved somehow and with me.
And you have a good chat to sort of get the feeling of the character, so you can bring out the expression.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know. I'm not perhaps that skilled in that yet. I just kind of go around and do it. And, obviously sometimes you work from photographs that you've taken that surprise you, that are such good pictures, Like my kids, I did that from one that I just was...
Kids?
Yeah, they're not like that anymore. They're 18 and 17, so I'm really pleased with this on one level, because they're quite ghosty, and it's like the ghosts of my children past, you know what I mean? Because they're not little boys. We moved to Adelaide in 2000, and they were from Germany, from Northern Europe.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Canada to Germany to.
Yeah, that's right. I was born in Pakistan, moved to Canada as a child, was raised in Canada, studied there, all that stuff. Then I moved to the Dominican Republic to open a studio there. It was really cheap to live there at the time that I'd found it. I'd been there on a holiday, and so moved lock, stock and barrel, rented 2 houses, and lived in one. My friend and I, we lived in one, and then we rented out the other house. So our friends would come and visit us, and we'd have 2 weeks. They'd pay us to live there, and so we financed it that way. And I could just paint, and I started a T-shirt business, of course, because it was the 80s. And so I was just able to really get into my practice there, and then I met my husband, and we moved to northern Germany. So I went.
When did the painting start?
The painting started full on in my 20s. I came to it late, like into the 30s, and in my 30s I had little boys, so I had to do it not part-time, but I didn't get that, that the thing that I wish that I had, which is when people are between 19 and 30 and just doing it all the time and staying up all night. I feel like that time is coming now, where I can really, really just be an artist in that. And
it's more like the realisation of something rather than the setting out to become.
Yes, yeah, that's right. It wasn't that. That's right. It dawned on me, and then. Well, I've said it before, but I still feel it. I don't feel like I'm an emerging artist so much as an exploding one. I've had all these ideas pent up in me, and all these ways that I'd like to visually express myself that I haven't had the physical time for, and now that I've got them, I just want to get them all down.
So how many hours in the day do you work?
I come in here about 8 to 10 every day. I do some tutoring, so I do have to work, and for money, regularly kind of idea, but I've been very lucky that I have such a great place to work.
Yeah, absolutely, and is it most important? How did you come to become part of the portrait series?
Well, they put out an expressions of interest in people that, for people who were interested in portraiture. I received that because I work in the port, and I work at the Parks Community Centre. Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm a tutor in their mosaics at the Arts and Crafts. So I have lovely relationship with the people in the arts and crafts. They try very hard to engage as many people as they can. They have a fantastic facility, and it just needs. That's what an art space for the community needs to be. They really, really...
So you certainly have a point. You met Ollie before?
I had not met Ollie before, but the thing that's very interesting, and that was part of my artist statement for this picture, was that I even though I hadn't met Ollie, I'd been very affected by her passions and her interests, and
because of
her influences, and because I had gone to several things with Vital Statistics and knew all about them, and then as it turned out, of course, it's Adelaide, so I do have mutual friends with Ollie. So, you know, that had to happen, didn't it? It's Adelaide. So it was great.
Yeah, so going to paint her, was that, did you approach that maybe slightly differently to how you would?
Yeah, well, I have to say, you know, you never know with a portrait, because it's, you know, it's a person that you're going to meet. You don't know how you're going to connect. You know, there's even technique things that you know. So it was a bit nerve-wracking, but I was looking forward to meeting her. And then when we met at her house, Lara Tor came with us, who was the arts worker for, and that was really nice. So we just had a nice cup of tea. Nothing happened the first one except for a really good in-depth chat. We told each other who we were and got comfortable with one another. Arranged to meet her again, and then I took a lot of photographs. So
you painted her in her backyard?
I did. I put her in her garden because I loved her garden. It's just a personal, handmade, you know, nurturing space, and it was fantastic to be there. She has great taste. She has, and you know, dare I say, similar to what I find aesthetically pleasing. Like I love her recycling, you know, the mosaics, all that. So, and you know, it was just a little bit about Ollie that I loved, that she had this, she planted seeds and then nurtured them, and you know, it was all very, very it fit nicely.
And how long did she sit for you?
Well, how long was it? Oh, the poor woman. Once I went there and I did a watercolor and didn't pay attention at all, and poor Ollie, she sat there for an hour and a half and I didn't even notice. It was only afterwards she said, I have to go to a massage at 1 o'clock. And I was like, well, what time is it? And it was 1:45 and I'd been there, you know. So she was extremely, extremely kind and supportive of my creative process. And that made it so much easier.
Well, probably of anyone. Of all of the subjects, she's probably the most sympathetic.
I think so. I think she's used to holding people's hands in their creative process. I think that's what she's about. That's, you know, it's the whole being a creative person that Ollie wants to nurture in people and to forge in the world. And you know, you're an expressive voice. She likes to hear different voices. So I couldn't have had a better partner, really, for my portraiture.
She'll probably nurture you in the future.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel
to nurture you.
Yeah. She's. I think, you know, she's got a lot of. She's got a lot of interests, and you know, visual arts are one of them too. So. I think that, you know, I feel like I made a friend, you know. So it was good.
Yeah, that's right. She loves the port. You love the port.
I do, and we talked a lot about building neighborhoods and keeping neighborhoods going, and you know, bringing like-minded people, because I do a lot of community work also. I'm a member of the board at the Henley and Grange Art Society, and I teach children's art classes, and you know, so we talked a lot about community-based work and you know, its whole importance in our psychological health as well as our social health. So you know, some really interesting conversations. I think I am.